Last week on Smackdown, we had the return of the Viper to the blue brand, and we also had a bit of a throwback with a little bit of brand supremacy and this entire thing ever since right before War Games. Adam Pearce, the general manager of Monday Night Raw, Nick Aldis, the general manager of Friday Night Smackdown, and so both contracts were up for grabs. Randy Orton, the Viper, he had to choose which brand he wanted to be in for the foreseeable future, or at least until the next WWE draft. And I gotta say that logic impaired, he chose the most obvious logical decision because he said it on Monday Night Raw on his return promo that he was targeting every single member of the Bloodline, and the Bloodline is entirely on Friday Night SmackDown. That includes the Wise Man Paul Heyman, Jimmy Uso, Solo Sikoa, and the current undisputed WWE Universal Champion, the Tribal Chief himself, Roman Reigns. And again, we're a little bit over a month away from the actual Royal Rumble pay-per-view, so we will not get to start that build-up for that match at the Rumble pay-per-view just yet. But in the meantime, Randy Orton is going to deal with Paul Heyman and Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa, and he's going to start on tonight's edition of SmackDown Tribute to the Troops when he tags with the megastar himself, L.A. Knight, in a tag team match against Uso and Sikoa. And frankly, having Randy Orton join the Blue brand was the best decision possible. Not only because it was logical and obvious and we have to get to that Reigns versus Orton match at the Royal Rumble, but because if Orton had chosen Monday Night Raw, number one, again, it would not have made sense, and number two, you're fairly overstacking the Red brand, and I get it, it's a 3-hour show, but still, you got main event Jey Uso, who's getting over, he's extremely popular, you got the entire Judgment Day over there, you got the biggest babyface, the most over babyface over there, which is the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, you got the world's champion Seth frickin' Rollins on that brand, and then you're gonna go ahead and add the Viper into it. In the meantime, SmackDown doesn't have Roman Reigns. He doesn't show up. He's a part of the brand, but he doesn't show up. Logan Paul is the United States champion, but he barely shows up. He barely showed up last Friday night on SmackDown. Kevin Owens has pretty much been written off WWE TV. He's dealing with an injury. There's a rumor that the Phenomenal One might return tonight on SmackDown. AJ Styles, of course. And again, I'm also looking forward to AJ Styles dealing with the Bloodline. He did get taken out by them. And eventually getting a Styles versus Reigns match once again, a rematch that we haven't seen, I believe, since 2016, which was AJ Styles' very first year in WWE, so very excited about that. But overall, there's a reason why LA Knight, and again, I'm not taking anything away from the man, he's extremely entertaining, he's put in the work to get extremely over, but there aren't a lot of babyface and a lot of big stars on the Blue brand currently at this time to really have any competition for the megastar, for that top spot. And Randy Orton joining the Blue brand, that was absolutely the way to go, not only to gain interest in the show, but also to sell more tickets in case that dwindles down at the end of the year and starting in the new year. So overall, Randy Orton on the Blue brand, again, it's not really traditional. He's more of a Monday Night Raw kind of guy to me. But for right now, it makes absolute sense. And we're going to get a hell of a lot of RKOs on the entire Bloodline. And I cannot wait for that very first confrontation between the Tribal Chief and the Viper in the middle of that ring. I cannot wait for that to happen. What's going to go down when that transpires? I don't think it's going to happen until the start of next year. I think Roman Reigns, we're not going to see him for the rest of the year. For the next 3-4 weeks, we won't see the Tribal Chief on SmackDown. But eventually, we will get that one-on-one face-off between the two heading into their Royal Rumble match. And again, Nick Aldis did promise him the entire Bloodline. Adam Pearce promised him a world championship match against Seth freaking Rollins, which again, I get it. It doesn't really make sense, but if logic compares, Randy Orton could have gone to Seth freaking Rollins and just challenged him straight up in the middle of the ring on Monday Night Raw, gotten that match by himself, because Seth freaking Rollins is a fighting champion. He gave Jey Uso a title match. He gave Sami Zayn a title match, so why not Randy Orton? Again, so overall, best move possible for the Blue Brand to have the Viper in their ranks. And we have the return of CM Punk tonight on Friday Night Smackdown. We'll just have to wait and see if it's a permanent return to SmackDown or if he gets to choose the Red Brand on Monday night, because make no mistake about it, what we saw last Friday night on SmackDown between Pierce and Aldis and Orton, their contract signing, their brand selection, it's the exact same thing that's going to happen this Monday night on Raw when both Pierce and Aldis offer CM Punk contracts to their respective brands. Which one will he choose? I don't know. We'll get to that on Monday night. But with that said, tune in later on tonight to Friday Night Smackdown on Fox. I believe we also have Rampage on TNT. It's Tribute to the Troops on SmackDown, a very, very special episode. And again, Randy Orton's back in action. We've got the return of CM Punk to the Blue Brand for the first time in almost 10 years. Practically 10 years. I think his last promo, his last appearance on Friday nights was December of 2013. So that's going to be interesting. And again, let's look forward to this weekend of wrestling. SmackDown and Rampage tonight. Collision tomorrow night. So with that said, I'm Alexis Carrillo. This has been Wrestling Talk, and I'll see you next time.